Hello all, today I am taking a look at the upcoming expansion for Plutocracy. This is our passengers. Now what you may see is the sort of pre-production. It'll have better cards, maybe a little bit of changes here and there to some of the rules, but in essence this is what you will get with the expansion. Now I've recently brought you the base game on the channel and I'll just give you a quick overview of what is going on here. So you've got the solar system, you've got these planets, and you are going to be spending your time to get money, to get power, to get the win. Now, as you spend time, you'll be going up here, and your go will consist of either selling resources, you're buying resources from these planets, and you're trying to make money in the process. You'll then be buying seats in these parliamentary houses here, so you can see, it's going to cost you money. There's a couple of white ones here, and it gradually gets more expensive. You'll also be saving asteroids, aliens off these asteroids, which is going to sort of go on this trajectory here into the sun. And if you get those aliens and you go to Earth, you can fulfill some of these society goals here. You've got, we've got 25 space euros, rescue an alien, get 4 members of your parliament across these planets, and 3 different resources in your player board area here. So that's joining societies. You've also got the actual traveling aspect. So as you move, you're going to go like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 distance, you +2 for the takeoff and landing, and that is how much time you are spending. And then gradually, as you spend your time, you are going to go ahead of some of these locations here, rotate for example, and that means all the planets are going to rotate clockwise around the sun here, and if you're on that planet, you're going to be moving with it. If you are, say, here and the planet comes to you, then you're going to be on the planet, and you need to be on the planet to do things like the trading, the buying, the selling. Now, what does this expansion bring then? So you'll notice at the top, we've actually got passengers. So you'll have randomly distributed these. On Mars, we've got a passenger who is looking to go to Uranus. We've got on Saturn a passenger who wants to go to Earth. Now, the changes are, when you are on that planet, you can do all your normal actions, and any time before you actually travel or retire, you can pick up a passenger. So you take one of these, if you're on Saturn, for example, let's say white is here, and you've got a spot at the bottom here to put your passenger, only one mind. Now, when you actually land on the planet, which is Earth in this case, and you've managed to spend your time, you land on here on a future turn, or maybe it's still your turn because the player who is last on the time track will be going. So when you land on a planet that matches that, you can drop off that passenger. Now, immediately once you took this as well, you replenish as in the deck up here. If it's ever the same, you discard it and you keep replenishing until the passengers are different from the actual planet they begin on. So let's just say you've managed to get to Earth, you have dropped this passenger off, you put that in the discard pile and you take a favor. So you've got a load of favors here. There's 8 in total. You're drawing 5 out at random, or you can use the starting setup. So what have we got then? These are groundbreaking, folks. Now, I like the base game, but it can be absolutely brutal. If you find that you're in the wrong spot, the wrong location, you then have to spend so much time to catch up, and it's unforgiving. But these allow you the ability to do some groundbreaking things. We've got lobbyism here, which when you take that favor, because you've completed a passenger trip, you can add one of your councillors to one of the planets you are on. Fantastic. And when you use these, they go back to the pool here. Speculation lets you roll this dice and you can sell the demand for the value you get, and it goes up to 12, I believe. So rather than, attaining say 5 for this water here, you might get up to 12, although there's the disadvantage, it might be lower than the actual number. And that impact doesn't actually impact the demand and supply there as well. So that's speculation. Astrogem, one of my favorites. Let's say you're over here somewhere. You can just spend that favor and hop anywhere on the trajectory of the asteroid, which is very nice, folks. Alchemy lets you change 3 of your resources for free any other resources within the limits, because you can only host 5 on each of these areas, which is so powerful, because if you're trying to hit that Earth society where you need the various resources to get that, you don't have to go traversing around all these planets to go buying those resources. You can just trade them in. You go to one planet, get the free resources, and then trade them in using that favor for 3 different resources. That is such a nice ability. Election fraud. Wowzers. This lets you put one of your councillors on the plutocratic council straight away. You're not having to wait for the election. mega powerful. Now we've got a few more that are just out of view. So we've got quantum physics, which means if you are here or you are here, so either one before the actual orbital path or one after, you can pretend that you're on the planet. That is great, folks. For some of these orbits, let's say Mars, you can see there's some big differences, or Neptune, so that allows you to undertake the abilities. Subsidy, you're getting 8 money, and hyperdrive, you're going to roll this dice and that will take off a load of time on one of your actions you choose. Now, when you take a favour, you'll take any money on it and you'll take this into your possession, add it up in. You can only ever have one favour at a time. You can't do the same favour that you might have put back and then attained on the same go. And most importantly, you have to take one money and put it on the remaining favours there, because it is making ones that aren't less desirable more desirable, because there's a load of money on them, and you have to use that money on them first. You can't, for example, use, where is it, subsidy, take the money and then populate the money out there. So that is the bulk of this expansion, and as I say, it really gives you flexibility across the main board here. So not only does this expansion add variety for the base game, it also gives you a solo mode, which is super quick, and I personally think is excellent at introducing you to this game and really getting you good at the orbital path and understanding how to spend your time. So the difference is then, you have the planets face down, you've added passengers, and this time you have got these kind of premium passengers here, which are in first class. You'll have 4 seats, which are just kind of these cards flipped over. You've got 2 premium and 2 standard. And even Earth has a passenger on as well. Now you are racing against the clock to get all the way around, and you can see the end is on location 45, which is actually 120, because you're going to go round once to 75 and then back to 45. And if you get to 120 and you can still complete the game with the new passengers when that takes place, you have won. Or you are going to lose if it ever gets to the prices, which is basically the new passenger draw, and there is either 4 or more passengers on one of these planets, you lose. Or you cannot replenish from the discard pile, you will lose as well. So you're just trying to survive. So what are you going to do on your turn then? Well, it's the same stuff. You're literally spending your time to move. So you're going to start on one of these planets. It's your choice. Let's say we are, well, that's actually the time one. We want to go here, for example. So we are looking at Mars. We've got Saturn on there, and we now are going to spend our time. So we're going to pick up a passenger. We're going to take this one and we automatically are going to put it into one of our seats. Let's say we put it in the standard seat there. We're then spending our time. So we need to get to Saturn, which is over here. We can see its orbital path is going to be around here. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus the 2 is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to spend 3 extra time, 1, 2, 3, because you can always spend a little bit more even though you don't want to move. And that was our go done. Who's last? Rotate. So all the planets are going to rotate now. So we're now ended up on this planet. Green's up, blue's up. So all these rotate on their orbital path. This then moves another 10. You see on the back, it kind of reminds you. And we are last again, so we are spending more time. Now we're on the planet, so we are going to drop off this Saturn passenger because we're on there, and we put this in the discard pile. We have completed that. Are we going to pick up another one? Yes, we're going to pick up Mars and we're going to add it in. Now you can pick up multiple passengers, and as you get past this prices one, and the rotate's gone again and everything's moved, the prices is going to go 20 ahead, so it's going to be on 40, and you are going to take the pile of cards and add 1 to each of these planets. And you can see that, as I've mentioned, if any of these ever get to 4 or more, you have lost, or if this pile has run out, you've lost. So now you're thinking, right, I need to get to some of these planets here where the passengers are starting to build up. So let's say, for example, I managed to get over here to the blue planet, Neptune. I can take these 2 passengers if I've got space. So the first class can go only in the first class, and these other standard ones can go in any seat. So you're racing around trying to get these passengers before you can eventually get all the way around, and you keep bumping these prices, more passengers are added, and eventually you're going to get around to the end here. Hopefully, if you're still in the game, you're going to do the new passengers draw again, which is basically drawing the passengers out here. And if you've not run out of the discard and there's not 4 or more, you've won the game. Now it takes about 10-15 minutes. It's uber quick. It takes out all the trading and the favors in this particular expansion, and it just lets you hone your skills and concentrate on the movement of the orbital path. Now, on the rules, this is not the final version. You've got different scenarios set up. So I've gone with Orion, and basically at the beginning of the game, you put the planets on the little sort of locations where the stars are, and you then rotate. So let's give you an example. So this would be the starting set. If we want to do a different scenario, say Mission Impossible, it tells us Earth stays 0, so we don't move that. Mars moves 2, so we go 1, 2. We have got Jupiter that moves 3, so we go 1, 2, 3, and you keep going, and that gives you a different setup. So obviously things are in different places, and it's slightly harder, well, very hard, Mission Impossible, to complete that. So lots of little challenges there to try. So overall, you are getting the solo mode in this, and you are getting variety with this expansion for the base game. Lots to like here. Give it a go. Go and check it out. It is, if you're watching this now in June 24, it is live on crowdfunding, and it should be at SN24 as well for main release. There we are. Enjoy.